it's been so bad playing Tracer that I kind of like I haven't been practicing her for like the last day and a half. I've been playing Solj because Solj has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. But you're committed to making it work.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, we can take a look here. Let me pull up. I guess any questions before we take a look at the gameplay here? You had a lot in your form, but maybe it'll be easier for you to break it down for me.
Well, I can't say question. I can't say it's a question. It's more like a I don't know, an analysis how I feel. Like when I'm playing Tracer, I feel like a lot of other time when I'm trying to like duel, like
Yeah,
specifically Cassidy and Brigitte, it never goes well. Like no matter how I play it, even if I play her on cover or something, I just get diffed like every single time, and
yeah.
it just feels terrible.
Yeah. I mean, the toughest part about like playing in the hit scan matchup is like at some point it's just going to be your mechanics and your movement, and that's going to be both your blink and your strafing. So when is this a code where you feel like you struggled versus those matchups?
Yeah, at the start of the game, I think it was really bad. I think it was really bad, and then it got better, but then it got bad again.
Okay, perfect. Because I want those are more micro oriented, and we'll have to actually like take a look at those engagements to point out when and where you could be going a little bit better. Anything else? Because that we'll look over in the replay code.
Should I? Is it bad to avoid Cassidy? Because I've been doing that recently in my games when I'm playing Tracer. I just avoid
No,
him.
you should be not avoiding them. No, you remember your number one priority is like what's the best short range off angle on the map that's available to me right now. Once you find that and you rotate around there, it really should not matter where you are or who you're shooting. Excuse me. It just matters where you're setting up. That's it.
Okay.
Yep. And we'll go over that in the replay code. Anything else?
No, that's it so far.
Okay. I mean, these are obviously very important questions, but questions that I think will be better answered in the actual replay code itself. So, all right, we'll take a look here. I just actually coached this map like 30 minutes ago on Tracer. So, okay. Okay. I mean, we're just going to roll. If the angle's good, the movement was good, the rotation was good, the depth of what you did was fine. No complaints. Nice job. Love to see it. If questions come up as we go, let me know, all right?
All right.
So this is where you might have problems a little bit versus Hitscan. Because if you look at this really quick right here, you have a bit of an angle, but you are fighting before your team is fighting. So there's obviously a problem of they're not distracted. But the other thing as well is you're not really playing your effective range in this matchup, and you're also not really making this Cassidy turn around. I want you to look at it from this Cassidy's angle. Do you see the problem with your engagement
Yeah.
here? This is too easy. This is too easy for him. So you've got options here. Your first option is I will say riskier option, which is to take the time to then deepen your angle and rotate all the way around behind and go for backline here. Now, you need to try to do that before the fight started so that you're prepped for going for backline, but that can work. That especially works if you have a pulse bomb or if they're running like a comp that's really slow. So like, let's say they're running a composition without flankers and so on, so that you can really mess them up on the backline. You got me?
Yeah.
Your other option is to go, oh, frick, this is not my effective range versus this character, so I'm going to still hold this angle, but what I'm going to do with this angle is actually just either shoot here on the Cassidy, make him walk in towards me, or honestly even just hold the angle and shoot the tank.
Yeah.
That's your choice. I just don't want you to take an angle blindly and just be poking people at that range. It's just never going to work. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is better because you've actually make the Cassidy do what? What do you make the Cassidy do? Right? You see it?
Forward.
Walk forward, right? He has to actually walk into your effective range. Now, he is damage boosted, but it's a scary position for him and for you. And at least that's mutual destruction here. This is fine. This is fine. Keep shooting. I think my only problem here is, like, given the resources that you have, frankly, you just need to keep shooting.
Yeah.
You know, you go for this rotation, but there's no real significant increase, and it means that they get this rotation for free when you should have been peppering them the entire time during that rotation. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the question is why do you rotate? Do you feel like I needed to improve my positioning? I was scared to peak that. Like, what goes through your mind here? I don't know if you remember this exact moment.
I think I wanted to just be on high ground, like above
Sure.
the Junkrat.
Sure. Understandable. But if your position is good now and there's a fight happening now, you need to do damage now and not rotate for a slightly better position that's going to take you out of the fight for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, we want to find simplicity here. We really don't want to be super complicated here because I think the initial setup was okay, but then obviously like contesting the Cassidy at range instead of deepening your angle or shooting tank, and then you had an okay angle, you baited them in, and then just do enough damage there. You tucked and hid, and I think that's a problem here. So okay, now what do you think about this angle here?
I think it might be a little too far. I mean, I could sit there and hold it, and maybe they'll walk forward, but I think it's a little too
Well,
far.
too far for who?
For me
Okay, versus who?
versus their Cassidy and
Stop right
Winston
there.
can't do. Oh,
Stop right there. Can the Cassidy see you?
no.
So what do you think about this angle? Let's reevaluate the question.
Oh. Oh.
You see what
I think
you see
it's
what,
a good angle.
I think it's a good angle too. Now, the other thing that complicates this as well is the only other real option is to go for like a really deep flank, and then maybe you don't have time to get there, and this is still pretty open here. I'm gonna be honest, this is great.
I always feel like when I'm holding this spot all the time, I feel like I'm doing nothing.
But you aren't. You are doing something. What are you doing here?
Creating pressure?
Right. Do you see what that Winston's doing? He starts here. He goes, oh, he's backing off. You see that?
Yeah.
Keep shooting.
And I think the problem is I don't know where to rotate to after that when they back up. I think I rotated all the way like to the right where the Winston's going.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I understand your concerns here. This is a difficult point here. But given what you have here, let's just say that you play this quote unquote properly and kept poking. Your diva walks forward. Now where do you go?
Oh, in with the diva.
In with the diva to this angle here. You see this?
Yeah.
And then you blink behind. You go for a pulse bump. You recall back here, and then you hold the soft angle and maybe poke the Winston. This point sucks, okay? Okay. It's really open. It's ugly. It's painful. But you might as well just try for something off of the diva and or just poke the tank from the angle. It's fine. Remember, your angle is only relative to what you can see, right? You see, this just feels awful. This feels awful, right? And then whatever. If the only comfortable position that's available to you is an off angle to shoot the tank, that is fine. I don't really know why I'm clapping here, but we're rolling with it, okay? So it's fine. You're totally fine. Your recognition was good. You should have trusted your instincts. All you're looking for is a short range off angle, and then just shoot was convenient. That's it. This is fine. But what's the problem here?
I don't have enough cooldowns. I don't have any blinks.
Right. So you approaching this fight, first off, I would say maybe a tad early, right? Just a tad early. Like maybe wait a couple of seconds just for your diva to get there. I know you're kind of in an urgency here with the way the fight's going, but yeah, exactly. For you to take this here, you needed a blink. Guess what you didn't have?
Any blinks.
So then on your last blink here, right as you get that blink, like literally the millisecond, you get your head blown off. The idea of what you did there was good. Look at the attention you're getting here. Look at the damage you're getting here. You're doing it with Pulse Bomb. In theory, if you had that extra blink, you basically preserve your entire health pool. You just go right back in. You're a little early, and you didn't have blinks. That's death.
Yeah.
That's it. But if you have blinks here, this is massive value. This is massive value. Like I said, a lot of times it's not that deep when you're dealing with like struggles versus Hitscan. A lot of it's just, you just didn't have a blink, so he shot you in the head. That's pretty much it. That being said, really nice angle there. In this approach here, this is good too. Your movement here, really good. Like, do you see the difference in this duel? Do you see the difference in this duel? This is a 2v1. You had blinks. You approached at a good time. Great use of cover here. So even though you ate the hinder, I mean, okay, so now we need to slow it down because this is when you should win. Mistake here.
Maybe shooting too early.
Shooting too early, right. What should your first response be when you're corner peeking this hit scan?
Aiming for head level.
Partly, yes.
Taking your time.
More than that. More important than that.
Oh,
Who's the advantage right now?
Here.
You should have blinked here. When you have both have your crosshairs at each other's bodies, and I promise you that he does, okay? Who is the advantage right now?
He does.
He does, right? So don't play this game. Your first response is to corner peek. then blink through him. You can blink this rotation or you can blink this rotation. It's your choice. Once you do that, that's when you shoot. So your first mistake here is you take the ego duel. And then your blink is not good. Why?
Because he can just move his mouse to the right.
Correct. So instead of blinking through him this way or through him this way, you've basically halved the amount of distance, or even a third, 2, 3. You get what I'm saying? You've basically made a fraction of the amount of mouse movement required for you to be able to... and so this is much easier. Now let's talk about this blink here. So everything looks good up until this point here. You needed to blink there. You blink mid-clip. It's not bad. You blink mid-clip here. And let's look at your movement here. So the first blink's the most important one. Blink, shoot. Blink. Shoot. I don't think the movement was too bad. I'm more concerned about that initial blink. What do you think?
Yeah. I could have just blinked beforehand and then started shooting him, and then I could have blinked again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's it. I really think that's it. What I challenge you to do is to do what we just did in that engagement anytime you feel particularly flabbergasted about what you could have done differently. Go back in the replay code, set your time intervals to, 5 seconds or whatever. Set your settings here on replay to decreasing please play to your scroll wheel, and watch the fight a few times over. Look at how you approached it. Look at your crosshair placement. Look at your strafe patterns. You understand?
Yeah.
And the reason why it's so important is because you will pick up on things, or you should pick up on things, or you should try practicing picking up on things that you can actually go in and practice. You see, the reason why that initial blink thing is so important is because that's something you can practice. You take an engagement with the hit scan. If that crosshair is on your head, your first response should not be to shoot but blink. That's a habit that you have to get into.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
But never be like, oh, I just feel like I can't take any engagement with hit scan. Well, why? Like what's the problem? And we need to go back and find out why that is. Okay. You can hold this angle here. Now you got two choices here. You poke tank, or you puppy guard backline. Good. Problem?
I think I should have blinked back into the room instead of just peeking it.
Mm-hmm. You just got surprised. That's it. That's it. You see how easy that was for him? He knew where you're coming from. You walk at head height. Now, to be fair, it was a good shot. And to be fair, there wasn't a lot of time for you to react. But maybe that's also where you need to predict more. You need to expect him to have that crosshair at head height. Because you know what? What you did was very valuable. Let's take a look at like what your action did. Okay? Freezes the rotation. Forces trap. Forces Cassidy move your way. Ana actually rotates out of position away from you. And Mercy rotates away from you as well. Look at the Winston's HP as a result of what you just did. Do you see it?
Yeah.
In addition, this hesitation means that in actual, like, honestly, there's a real opportunity here for, like, I mean, this is, I don't know why your Diva's standing there. But, like, in all honesty, like, this is a fine fight for you guys, at least at the start. And that was off of your setup. Your setup, your engage, your timing, your angle was good. You just messed up mechanically. That's all. And it's kind of a similar problem where you're swinging into a hit scan who's already looking at you.
Yeah.
Right? You need to be extra cautious when you're approaching a hit scan from here. Now, if you approach the Cassidy from here, where there's a little bit more, again, that mouse movement's more aggressive, it's a little bit less of a concern. And now this fight's just cooked. I mean, I think you were down a lot, but it's not a bad trade. You just need to get out. Okay, let's see what our setup looks like. So I think this angle's going to be okay for Tracer as long as you, yeah, I was going to say, rotate to here. This is good. You can't do this. You can't do this. I mean, you could maybe, but again, where's the crosshair and where are you? Crosshairs here. That's where you are. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Kevster wouldn't do this. Okay. Kevster has a lot better mechanics than you do. Kevster would not do this. Kevster respects Masters 5 Junkrat players, okay? Yeah. When you're walking into a small choke. So remember, you have the responsibility of mobility, so you could take whatever angle that you want. With what you know now, what do you do? You have time. Where do you go?
I could go left.
Ugly.
What if I went like really deep all the way to the other pillar on the left side?
So here?
Yeah.
Could work. Still a problem in terms of range, though.
Or I could have went even deeper and I could have messed with their Ana.
Okay. I'm a fan. You should have been here sooner then, but I'm a fan. Your other option here is to flip the map and rotate to this side, which generally provides a little bit more proximity. Notice that just because of the outcrops here, you have a little bit more options and you could deepen the angle in the backline here too. I think the nature of these means that unless the backline's like playing here or playing on these pillars, this is generally just going to feel a little bit ugly. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But deepening all the way around, yeah, that could have worked. You just needed to do it sooner. Now, the good news is that you did get here. And that Cassie is doing exactly what we talked about. Look what this Cassie is doing. You see this? Zero situational awareness because of where he's looking right now. You see that? Which means also zero pressure on your team getting out of the choke. And then you're doing exactly what we talked about, which is rotating the back line and massive value here. No! Stay! Stay. Respect the Junkrat. But see, he's actually not even looking at you.
I should have blinked there.
Coach yourself here. Coach yourself.
I really should have just blinked there. Like I got too greedy and I knew he was there.
Also, let's talk about like where you blink even here.
Yeah, I should have blinked. I don't think he could have shot me there, but I think I should have blinked again.
I think you should have blinked again, and where to is the crucial thing.
I think may have been a bad idea to blink back behind him.
I think so. Okay.
So I could have blinked. Yeah, like where is that a good idea? I think I could have went back that way.
I don't want to put yourself in another situation where you're staring at a choke into a Junkrat again.
Yeah.
I think you need to gamble blinking through them and playing the corner here. I think you need to keep maintaining if possible. Okay, so let's say you make the wrong call. Okay, no big deal. Now what?
I could have backed up here and went around.
Sure. Heck, you could have even backed off, played for your double blink, blink 1, blink 2, and then reestablish your angle this way again. Obviously, you got to worry about trap, but something to consider. But yeah, I think blinking around here is fine here too. The problem is, once again, it's not just hit scan. It's those bursts of damage. You're not respecting the crosshair placement. Like right here, I mean, you just don't win these. You know? Yeah. You just don't win these. You have to move. If their crosshairs on your head, you have to move or disengage. It's that simple. And that will always be the case for every rank. Diamond, Masters, Grandmaster, Kevser versus Kaya and Junkrat. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing. Never peek that corner. Always make them move their crosshair. Always come from a position where it's at least inconvenient for them to look. And that's your problem with Hitscan. That's your problem with Junkrats. That's your problem with Ashes. That's your problem with Zens, Anas, everything. Kiriko's even, right? Yeah. Is that right there. That little micro engagement. And you could be doing yourself more favors with the setup too. What did you need to be doing here? Ready for a brilliant answer?
Yeah.
Just stay here and shoot. Just stay here and shoot. Winston gives you an angle. Don't blink into your backline. I think your intention was to wrap around this way.
Yeah, it was.
But that's very inconvenient. If you want to go for that, the best way to go for it,
I should have went that way.
I think is the flank this way, you know? Okay, there you go. And then come from this angle here. It's a little bit more of a setup, but you're less likely to run into damage along the rotation. You deepen, you don't double back, right? Or you just hold your angle and shoot tank, right? Because backline can't see you. So just hold your angle and shoot tank. Totally fine with me. Because again, the problem is just like, look at how easy it is for this Junkrat to pressure you. Watch. He's already looking this general direction, right? Like, look at your angle and proximity to the rest of your team, you know? So if you're going to hold a soft angle like this, then shoot your tank. Then keep shooting Winston. Keep shooting Winston. Good pulse. This is the moment of truth right here, isn't it?
Blink here.
You must blink here. Okay. Good. Risky, but, you know,
Yeah.
reasonable risk. Now, you're going to lose this fight, so whatever. But that was fine. Okay, that was funny. You want to see something funny? Check this out. Check this out. He's like, wait, where'd you go? Where'd you go? All right, let's go. So you either take a short off angle and poke tank, where the hit scan, DPS, whatever, can't see you, or you establish a deeper angle and force those threats to move the crosshair. Thoughts? Let's slow this down.
That was a little bit better, but I think I could have blinked sooner.
This blink here is the mistake. Check it. Right here. This is the mistake here. Because you're going to go this.
Oh, yeah.
So then now you don't have a blink. So guess who's going to hit his shot right now?
The Junkrat.
The Junkrat, right? Or he should have, right? Basically. And then, okay, that's fine. You get lucky there. What should your first response be once he repeaks this corner?
To blink. I think I could have gotten away with blinking behind him.
I think you could have gotten away blinking behind him. At least blinking, right? Like, even if it's just blinking off to here, right? And you kind of, like, it's always dangerous to get closer to Junkrat, right? But shockingly, that's where he hits his shot. Who would have thought, right? Now, the recall was well-timed. That was the equivalent of a blink for you, right? And then you're going to force Mercy Pocket and Valk Pocket, and there you go. But I'm telling you, the crosshair placement stuff is brutal versus these characters. This isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. You need to move. Where do you need to move to?
Left.
The left, or you can deepen right. Yeah. I think left is probably better just because of what's available, and then you could just poke. Yep, keep moving. This is just not going to work. The reason why you're struggling versus these hitscan characters is because your setup phase is lacking in some ways, but also the way that you're utilizing blinks and duels is lacking as well. Shoot. Keep shooting. Easy. Nice job. Well done. Well, that was a little mission. What was...
I was thinking about where I should go.
Scary because of the direct approach, right? Cassidy's chasing. Okay. Good. She's not looking. Good. She's not looking. Good. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. You know, basically what you're doing is you're saying this comp is super slow. Nobody can stop me from running around their backline. I'm just going to set up the deepest flanks possible and just murder people. And every single engagement is going to be either they won't see me coming or they're going to have to turn the camera all the way around to see me coming. That's what you want.
Yeah.
It won't always be that way. You know, they're going to run flankers and Genjis and Tracers that will mark you. That happens all the time. Yeah, by the way, is this good?
Yeah, this is good.
This is just like the Winston on the first point. Remember that? You don't need to do anything. Just hold the off angle and shoot tank. You don't need to flank backline if you don't want to. Totally fine. Look at the damage that you're getting. Look at the tension that you're... Good use of your blink there. I mean, this is miserable for her. Now, this is where things get hard. Because you got to go... Where's my angle, right?
Yeah.
It's tricky, right? That tunnel, you know, where do you go? This is good. This is good. What's the mistake?
Peeking.
You can just chill here. Wait for your next blink. Talk back here. Listen, because he's still missing HP. This is a war of attrition for you, really. You just need to chill and you'll make it. So just chill. Wait for that first blink. Listen for him to decide whether he's going to go or not. Break that trap. And then maybe you take an engagement 1, 2, right? Then recall back out. Then maybe go for the kill, right? You got options. It's still a choke. It's still ugly. See, that's it. So he predicted wrong. So you're going to shoot here. You're going to blink behind, which is a little bit cheeky. Blink through, reload. You're going to come back here. Let's see. I'm going to play this all at 0.25. Oh, my days. Please don't. Please don't. Take the duel. Blink, immediate reaction. Blink again, immediate reaction. And look what he just missed. Do you see it?
Yeah.
He missed the pipe. Shoot here. You're a little bit slow in the next blink, though. But you know what? I think that this is like, we could still critique details here, but you have taken a lot of time and a lot of resources away. I mean, look at what's happening right here. You see this?
Yeah.
I look at this and being like, you could have played that one so much better. But this was noticeably better than some of the other engagements. And so despite the fact that your teammate has honestly just kind of twiddled their thumbs, despite the fact that the enemy team has blown 2 ultimates, you were able to control resources for a long time, live to tell the tale, and then now you can just rotate onto the other side. Honestly, you should feel pretty good about that engagement. That was a big step up from some of the stuff we've seen earlier in this map. And now, what do?
Stay here. Keep this.
Just shoot tank. Shoot tank. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. And then, as they back off, you deepen. And you know what? Well, okay, yes, because he expected you. But you know what? At least you forced this. Do you see it?
Yeah.
At least you forced a commitment. So it's embarrassing because he caught you with your pants down. But let's actually analyze this a little bit. Why don't you blink through this? Because I think you did see this. You did expect it, right? Like he's clearly looking at you. So why didn't you? There's one variable here that's changed the last time you were here. It's your pulse bomb.
Yeah, it was the pulse bomb. I was thinking, oh, I'll just pulse him and then recall.
Right. Nothing's stopping you from blinking here first.
Yeah.
Nothing's stopping you from blinking here first. You know, you go left or you go through him. You do the exact same play, then you recall out. Because the actual resource trade itself is really good for you guys. Like, really good if you're able to stay alive here. Even for just an extra second, you know?
Yeah.
It's good, though. There's consistency here. There's consistency of the things that you're doing well and consistency of the things that you're not doing well, right?
Yeah.
That last engagement was pretty much the same problem we've seen consistently throughout the VOD. Alrighty, let's keep going here. Any questions so far?
No questions.
Okay. I think you're doing mostly okay. There's definitely been some moments where I would have preferred different setups. We've talked about those, okay? But I think like setups for you have been okay. They've been all right. Nice. You made him look silly. That's the thing. When you lock into your movement and you watch those projectiles and you manage your range and you didn't even get behind them, right? Like you didn't even you were just very attentive to your blinks. You notice that? Like it doesn't matter how many clips it takes. Don't let him hit a shot. You just full bar him. You just full bar him. It's beautiful. This is a very important moment. Very important moment. And obviously wasting that blink there means that it's kind of risky to pursue this. Because right there, you should have been slept.
Yeah.
You see that? That wasted blink, that like you gotta know, like this character is so lethal with one shot, right? Even that shot there is tough. Like this is honestly where you should recall. You don't have a blink, I think you just recall. Good use of the cover though.
Yeah.
But you can
like,
go ahead.
I was like, I don't think she'll hit me because I'm gonna use this cover here, so that's what I was thinking.
At least you're thinking about it. At least you're thinking about it. That's the key thing. At least you're giving them looking at you respect, which has been something that's been a little bit hit or miss here. The responsibility of Tracer is more on movement than it is on aim. The responsibility of playing versus a Tracer is more on aim and less on movement, right? If I'm playing Zenyatta, if I hit my shots, the Tracer can never win. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I cannot hit my shots, then I will never win. That's just how it goes. And then here will never work because it's like, oh, funny, I recalled into a trap. But like again, crosshair placement. This angle will never work. Never. You don't have any space to blink. You're looking directly at a Junkrat or a Cassidy or an Ana. This is not going to work. So solve the situation. Where do you need to go?
For this one, I don't think I honestly know. Should I have gone like all the way around to like the left side?
You could. You could do a harder flank. Your other option here is to honestly just sit here and just shoot tank. Just shoot tank. It's not a great range, but like you take a softer angle and pressure the front line and then maybe look for an opportunity to rotate deep, or you just commit to the hard flank and go like this. Your choice. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It feels awkward because you don't really know where your team is fighting. I wish your team would fight on point. If your team is fighting on point, this would make this so much easier, right? But they're not. But you can tell you what, this will never work. That is incredible.
Yeah. I got so lucky that D.Va was there.
Uh-huh. But I guess I want to point out that, like, yeah, it's a difficult situation, but any one of those options would have worked out so much better than what we actually did, right? Either a harder flank or a softer angle on tank. Your choice. And the softer angle on tank works better than what we did because we don't force a direct engagement on Hitscan or Junkrat. That's the difference. You either soft angle on tank or you hard angle on backline. This is great. This is great. All right. Are you going to commit to the hard flank? It looks like the answer is yes. Looks like the answer is no. Oh, no.
Yeah, I blinked into that. I don't even know.
Oh, no. But it's kind of the same story, right? Like, you need to commit, right? Are we going to soft angle on tank and then don't go in there? If the answer is no, then you should never have left here. That way you have the full information of knowing how to deal with this. Your hard soft angle on tank could have been something like this, or could have been something like, I don't know, like rotating with your team and going something like that. Like, this is just never going to work.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. This might be just one of those situations where the harder flank, especially with pulse home, just makes more sense. I think you've been a bit discouraged from trying it just because of how things have gone. But remember, it's all been about how the approach has been. You didn't really commit to this here. You've not even tried to go from this angle here, even though you've had the time. Oh, almost. Pretty impressive, actually. Really, really impressive. Like, the fact this is even remotely winnable is, like, incredible. You've done a good job.
I messed this up. We could have probably won this.
That's such a crappy mindset to have. You've done such a good job, like, the last 20 seconds. You guys have no business this even being remotely close.
I was panicking here.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, listen, let's put it this way. You can only carry so long, you know? Like, you did really well mechanically the last couple of fights. Okay, this is super simple. What needs to change? What needs to be practiced more?
My usage of my blinks.
The use of your blinks and duels. Now, we talked about a lot of Cassidy, a lot of Junkrat, a lot of Ana, but it's really just kind of like a universal rule. Like, you can pull up the Overwatch hero roster and be like, when an Ashe is looking at me, what should be my first response? When a Bap is looking at me, when a Genji in short range, when a Venture, when a Widow, when a Torpedo, right? There's a common theme here. Now, the way that you could practice this is you absolutely can and should practice this in competitive. Be very attentive to where they're looking and then blinking appropriately, but you can also practice this on your warm-up as well. You can also practice this in your warm-up as well. So, okay, any questions?
No questions.
Okay, so be very deliberate with your blinks in terms of where crosshair placement is. Think about staging in situations to where either you can get a good angle on backline where they have to move their crosshair, or you just soft off angle on tank and you don't even need to. You could just poke the tank out, right? Just poke the tank out. It's fine. The only other detail to point out there is that when you have pulse bomb, sometimes you lock in, you forget your blinks. You're thinking more about, like, I can just blink, pulse and recall out. You saw that twice. In those situations where you still need to play normally. You still need to blink normally. Take the engagement normally. And in many ways, sometimes I know it can be a little bit disorienting with pulse bomb, but sometimes blinking through them can make hitting the pulse bomb easier because their movement immediately trying to 180 to turn to look at you can make them easier to stick.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions?
No questions.